My name is Katinka Hajas. I'm a visual artist. Since my graduation at the Hungarian University of Fine Arts, I have been working as an active artist. In my work, I look for the subtle connections between material, spaces, and the inner world of people. This presentation is about my artwork that related to my therapy experiences. I will also talk about notions, scientific ideas, cultural references, and personal experiences that I find fascinating and inspiring during my therapy period. During the presentation, I would like to approach the idea of inner space where things happen that we can only sense and feel but cannot be seen clearly. On this picture, we see Katsushika Hokusai, painted by Katsushika Hokusai. We see an elephant. The people around the elephant are blind, and each of them touches the different part of the huge animal. One touches the leg and thinks the elephant is a pillar. Another touches its tusk and believing it's a sharp spear. According to the story, they start to argue because each of them believes he is right. But in fact, they only feel a part of an elephant. The whole truth could only be seen when all the parts come together as one picture. For me, inner sensing works in a similar way. A sentence that catches our attention, a material we reach for without thinking, a scientific theory that suddenly makes something inside us clear, or a cultural reference we feel connected to even if we can't explain why. All of these things tell us something about the oceans inside us, because human tastes, choices, and decisions paint a colorful microclimate that starts inside us and reflects around us. This is my first artwork that related to this topic. For me, the traumatic imprints that live inside us are like empty spots on a map. A hidden trauma will change human life in an unexpected way. In this work, I pre-impregnated a section of the paper. The blue drop here represents the life path. When reaching the impregnated area, it will slide in an unexpected way. My next work is about balance and inner weights, wounds we carry. The installation is made of wood and lead. I damaged the wooden blocks in different ways. I drilled them, split them, and sewed them. Then I poured molten lead into the cracks. The presence of the lead leaves subtle transformation within the wood, changing its physical balance. The damages on the wood represents our own inner hurts. They can be heavy and painful, but not simply negative. The trauma shapes our personality, our life path, and our human relationships. The idea of a balance in the installation is a metaphor for our subjective inner balance that shifts with the nature of wounds we carry. For me, this brings a kind of insight and patience. This fragility feels like a kind of poetry that appears in human connections. During the creation of the work, there was one thing that especially burdening to me, the lead pouring. Even though I always use protective gear, the awareness of working with a toxic material gave me a bad feeling the whole time. Still, in some way, I felt it true. I choose this material because of its dense, heavy, and toxic nature. It directly reflects the content of the emotional weight of the work. My next work is a watercolor installation titled Landing on the Soft Side. This series was created during a very hard period in my therapy. This painting helped me deal with strong feelings and helplessness. Each series gave me a release. Something hidden got a name and shape. The process of naming can be compared to Tibetan Buddhism. There is a symbolic and psychological way of understanding different beings like hungry ghosts or demons. They represent inner states, passions, or mental struggles. When a practitioner notices such a spirit inside them and names it, it becomes easier to observe, and it becomes also easier to start inner work with it. The setup of the exhibition was also very important. The paintings did not tell one linear story, but many shifting and repeating emotions. I wanted them to be open and free to perceive. Some paintings were displayed alone, some in groups like a map. This arrangement let the viewer choose their own path. Let me go to explain the title of the series, Landing on the Soft Side. For me, the soft side is like a calm after a storm, a kind of peace I find while making these works. The image of you in me, the image of me in you. This sentence is from the book Why Do I Feel What You Feel by Joachim Bauer. This book drew my attention towards the discovery of mirror neurons. Mirror neurons are nerve cells that become active not only when we do an action, but also when we see someone else doing the same action. This brain mechanism makes it possible for us to understand and connect with other people's feelings, intentions, and movements. It is the basis of empathy. Facial expressions, voices, movements, emotional impressions. Human relationships are not only interactions, but reflection of the internal images that we hold one another. These images are not neutral. The way we think about someone changes how we treat them, and that affects on them. This mutual shaping of inner images is one of the deepest dimensions of human connection. My next works reveal something about this scientific phenomena.
The rooms are connected with each other on the vertical axis. An intricate floor plan emerges along the spine of the construction. The rooms are well oriented. Some are spacious, while others are compatible with the human body. These smaller rooms could be considered marginal because of their size, yet they are the most intricate and integral parts of the building. Maybe it is because of these rooms that they feel attached to it, even if these are barely visible. There is an invisible wall stretching along the hall, making the room feel an occasional internal chill. The words uttered here are barely comprehensible because of the echo, intensifying over the years, bouncing back and forth in the entire building's inevitable emptiness. Sometimes these voices are simultaneous with their pronunciation. In other cases, they are late. That's why, perhaps, silence is the best option. This hall is slightly above the heart, towards the center of the chest, and its entrance is the gaze. This is where the spaces opening from each like reflections begin.
my next work. This work was created during an artist residency program at the Budapest University of Technology and Economics. The installation is connected to the feelings of anxiety, guilt, and shame. These emotional states appear in my daily life with varying intensities, yet they remain a constant presence, like a kind of permanent inner climate. The installation consists of 5 grinding mills made of concrete, placed on iron plates. Its circular motion is supported by built-in electronics. Each mill is individually programmed. This fixed programming reflects the monotonous, repeating nature of emotions. The iron surfaces amplify the grinding of the sand, echoing the tension between the materials. Over time, the weight and the repeated movement changes the shape of the plates. The grinding leaves marks on the surface of the iron plate. The sound itself changes. The installation includes the video work. In this video, a piece of black ice is melting by the warmth of my palm. For me, this is a strong association, a kind of way out from the inconvenient inner microclimate. It represents the power of looking inward. The title of my last work I would like to present here is Changes Clothes because the dream changes too. Since it's still in a planning phase, I wouldn't share too much detail. It's still uncertain and open to change. What I find interesting is that in this work I use strong colors and soft surfaces, which makes very different from my earlier work. I often feel that my artworks knows what's happening inside me before I do. As if they could see ahead and show something that I can only put into words later. Recently, topics like psychology, self-healing, and trauma work are widely discussed, and for a good reason. To me, it seems that people are looking for instant solution, clear answers, and immediate relief. Yet, I feel there's something quietly present, but rarely addressed. Inside us, there is a part that is not clear, not controllable, not meant to be solved, simply remains unknown. This is the part that quietly organizes my work. I have come to understand its nature and movement. This part of us cannot be urged and cannot be fully explained, and maybe that's exactly how it's meant to be.